Hey everyone, welcome to another video. So I've been getting a lot of questions recently how I prepared for my QE1 or how I managed both the exams under less than a year. So this video is all about sharing my resources for QE1. So hello, I'm an international medical graduate and I cleared both United States and Canadian medical licensing exams in less than a year. So in this video, I'm talking about my preparation strategy of what all I did and what I usually advise and mentor the students for to achieve their dream residency. So let's dive into the video. Also, if you consider this helpful, please like, share and subscribe the channel. It gives a lot of motivation to me to make all the videos which is required for all of you. So diving deep into the topic of preparation strategy, I like to divide this into various subheadings. Now, this is explained on the screen and you can see I've highlighted mindset. So I've divided this into mindset, question banks, books, and other miscellaneous. If you ask me personally, mindset amongst all of this is the most important thing and a critical factor that can determine getting you into your dream residency. So usually how it starts is you've come to Canada, you've enjoyed the scenery, you like the snow. What next? So the question comes in mind, how do we start preparing for QE1? This is where mindset comes into being. The first thing is that you have to evaluate, are you eligible to write QE1 and NACOSKI? I'll post the link below in the description for the eligibility criteria for Medical Council of Canada. But it usually means that you should be a medical graduate and your medical school is registered in either World Directory of Medical Schools, or you are a graduate that is recognized by Canadian Association of Medical Schools, or you are a graduate from United States Osteopathic School of Medicine. There are other eligibility criteria as well, and I'll post the link below and you can check if you are qualifying that criteria as well. The second thing is exam decision. Now, this is a big decision. The reason is that you have to give the exam. So you have to determine when do you want to give this exam. The second question you should be asking is what exams do you want to write? Are you wanting to prepare for both US and Canadian licensing exams or just one of them? I ask this question to you because it's the same dilemma that I faced when I was writing the exams. And honestly, I think I qualify into the terms of older IMG, and I was thinking that the time is less and I'm touching my books after a long time. So I really didn't want to bank on Canada itself alone because Canada has around 10 to 12 medical colleges or universities as they say, and whereas in US there is no limit. So I really didn't want to take a chance of perhaps not getting selected in a year and then waiting another year to get selected. So when I was getting back to my books, I wanted to hit both the exams in a single year and not waste additional time. That was my planning. And also the thing is, what is your dream residency? I get a lot of questions from students saying that they are not sure what residency they want to get into. I work on the concept of manifestation. So you should be really clear. Do you want family medicine? Do you want internal medicine or pathology? It was my case. I loved pathology and I wanted to do residency in that. So you need to be clear and ask yourself what exams you want to appear for, what residency do you want to go into the future, and possibly where. Again, next comes the question of study schedule. This is highly variable and it may vary from a person to person. This depends a lot whether you have a family you have to take care of, whether you have kids you have to take care of. Are you in a job that is probably takes most of your time? So obviously the time left for self study would be very less. So you have to determine how many hours in a day can you give to the preparation in a nutshell. That you have to ask yourself. Also, every time I get asked this question that there's a lot of multitasking involved and you need to know that all the things go side by side. So I can explain this in a way that preparing for the exams, studying for the exams, developing your CV, doing the research, and possibly a part-time job that gives you some kind of Canadian healthcare experience or doing electives and observerships are the things that go side by side. There's never going to be a perfect time. You're not going to get like a segment of time where you can just focus on CV or then you can get a time for just focusing on research. So you should realize that all these things are going together side by side. In my opinion, 6 to 12 months should be enough. Again, that all depends on your background knowledge. It also depends, are you a fresh graduate or are you an older IMG? So in my case, I was a pathologist back in India and I was very strong in pathology and basic sciences. But I knew I had to do a lot of work in clinical subjects. So that was my Achilles heel, as I call it. So your background and your past knowledge matters a lot. The thing is that you should not wait for a perfect time to schedule the exams. We'll discuss more about how do you know that you are, now in that right frame of writing the exams. There are some pointers which I'll discuss further. But try scheduling your exam soon. And by that, I mean do not make it like a 5-year project. Don't just think that you have all the time in the world to write the exam. And the reason I say this is when you land in Canada, you need to kickstart your career. You cannot wait to just think and buy time and writing the exam. It'll just make you more fearful and anxious. And every year we have so many of the IMGs and other graduates and Canadian graduates that are entering the pool altogether. And what happens is this pushes the score further up. So the competition increases. And also, there's not going to be the right time that, today I'm 100% prepared and let's write the exam. That's never going to happen. So don't wait for the perfect time. And also keep a tab on timeline and application submission. So you should, if you are applying for both the exams, US and Canadian or Canadian, you should know when the application submission is due. And before that, you should be done by all the exams that are relevant for your matching criteria. So coming on to the preparation. Now, question banks. This I have divided into a preparation question bank and an assessment question bank. This is how I usually I did my preparation and I will guide you guys to do your preparation. So the preparatory question banks are the ones that are given on the screen. And the one that I've highlighted in the marker and red ink is UWorld. Why I say this and why have I marked this is because I used UWorld. So the rationale behind me using UWorld was that I was preparing for both United States and Canadian licensing exams. So step 2 CK and medical MCCQE1 exam have the similar subjects. So they all have medicine, surgery, peds, obgyn, psych, these kind of subjects. So both the syllabus for both the question banks is similar. And also United UWorld exam is a very standardized exam and is a universal exam. Now I'm not paid by UWorld to tell that how great they are, but I love this question bank. Talking about Canada Q Bank and ACE Q Bank, I have no personal experience, so I cannot comment on them because I did not use them in my preparation. And the second part is assessment Q banks. So we'll discuss that more, and I've also left a link below. So a pointer, what are the pointers for choosing a question bank? An exact question bank which you need for your preparation should be the one which is universal, which is standardized, and which is used by a lot of students, so it's regularly updated. Now, why I say this is that UWorld is a universal question bank that is being used by all the students that give USMLE. And the number of students that give USMLE is much more than students who give QE1. So I realized that this question bank is pretty universal. It gets regularly updated. So I use this question bank both for step 2 CK and QE1. And it was helpful to do a question bank twice or thrice, same question bank, so that it led my solidification of a knowledge and also helped me revise effectively. It has great answer descriptions, so I ended up using my question bank as a kind of a textbook for me. Now, all of us are medical graduates. We've read great reference books and standardized textbook in our medical schools. So it doesn't make sense to go back to the theory books and read them over and over again. You just need something that can help you revise the concepts and can give you an original data. So if you are going for other question banks, I can say for UWorld, but if you're going for other question banks, make sure that their descriptions are apt and there is nothing wrong with the descriptions that is given in those question banks. So again, the same thing, I was aiming to clear both the exams in a record time and I decided that I'll do UWorld for both the exams. So it helped me revise the concepts pretty effectively and I finished the question bank twice for these exams. And it also has great answer descriptions. So coming to the assessment question banks. Now, I wanted to tell you this update before, but I'm telling it to you now. Earlier, QE1 was divided into MCQs and CDMs, which was clinical decision making exams, questions. And now the great news is that CDMs is out of MCC QE1 questions, so you are just left with MCQs only. So you will just be attempting MCQ sections. There are no CDMs. And assessment question banks are the best that are found on official website of Medical Council of Canada. I will leave the link below for the preparatory products. Now I ended up getting all the preparatory products, but it's your wish and it depends on your finances. How much can you afford? But I would really advise you to go for at least one full length assessment MCC exam so that it gives you an idea about how Canadian medical questions are asked in QE1. Because this is the closest assessment question bank to Canadian healthcare. What I did was I did UWorld for concepts. I understood the concepts. And now I needed something that can tell me how the questions would be framed. So that is where assessment Q banks helped me a lot. It was an expensive resource, but it was a genuine resource that really helped me a lot. Now we come to the topic of books. So there are so many books in the market. You have Master the Boards, Step to CK. You have First Aid, Step to CK. You have Toronto Notes, which is a very popular book for QE1. You have Conrad Fisher Ethics. You have AFMC Primer, CMPA book. And then I did make notes from UWorld, and I had that notebook with me. But I've highlighted two things in red. First is the Toronto Notes. Now, I I adore this book because it's been written by Canadian physicians. It's a great book. But I have this kind of a love-hate relationship with this book because I used to feel that it's very monotonous, it's very black and white, and it doesn't interest me. I advise everybody to read only selective areas of Toronto Notes. And I've decided that I will make a separate video, which will be the video focusing only how to read selectively Toronto Notes, what areas to read, what not. So please like, share, and subscribe if you would like to see more of these videos. Now, coming on to miscellaneous. So, coming back to the book topics, I would just advise you, if you are weak in a particular subject, only open the book then, or you really want to, confirm something which is not written correctly in a question bank, only then go to the books like Master the Boards or First Aid. So for me, I was not very good in cardio, so I ended up reading Master the Boards for cardio. So that was my strategy, but I didn't read all the books page to page. I only referred to QBank, which was UWorld, as my main resource. Again, miscellaneous. So this exam is not only the exam of which tests your knowledge, it tests your personal strength also. So there's a lot of multitasking involved. All of us are managing so many activities in a day. It is impossible to handle everything. So there comes the magic of multitasking. I still remember going to my workplace and doing UWorld question banks on the way. Please realize each minute is important and have that manifestation that you want to achieve that dream branch. And it is possible, it is doable. Select the exam that you want to take. Do you want to take USMLEs? Do you want to take QE1 and NAC, or both of them? And that's how you decide how much time is it going to take you for planning those exams. And then decide how much time can you give for the preparation. So if you're preoccupied with family or kids or job, please be reminded that you'll have lesser time for studying. So it's going to be a situation of make it or break it. So please do your schedule properly. Please see how much time can you put in and plan your test accordingly. Set a D-day for exam. So you should know that, okay, I want to take my exam next January. So I have around 11 months now. Starting now, if I buy a question bank, which is an original source that you should buy, and start practicing questions, you should start downloading important resources and start studying. I'll also make a video of how to do a question bank effectively as well. But as of now, I want to end this video with this favorite quotation. Don't count the days, make the days count. I wish you all the best, and I'll be coming soon with a new video. Thank you and have a good night.